Hi folks, I'm Nathan with Two Guys in a Ride, and welcome to our CarTech how-to video on the 2021 Volkswagen Jetta SEL. Today I'll be covering the driver's information and infotainment screens. I'll do a general overview, show you how to access information, and do a deep dive. Let's get started.
Today we're working with our friends at Mankato Volkswagen in beautiful Mankato, Minnesota.
This has the Volkswagen Digital Cockpit. And so it is a 12.3 inch screen, and it's beautiful. It looks fantastic, and you can change a lot of things. So over on the left, to start with, you've got a tack, and then you got your gear selector, you got some dummy lights on the bottom left, and you've got a changeable middle section. In the middle, you've got a driver's information part that you can change and look at different pieces of information. And then directly below that, of course, you have got your trip and your trip meter, and you have got your cruise control, seatbelt signs, and what your cruise is set at as far as how many miles per hour. Over to the far right here, you have got a speedometer, and then inside the speedometer, you have got, again, a changeable information area. On the far right, you have got a fuel gauge, and the far left, you have got an engine temperature gauge. Now, to change the information and manipulate it happens in two different places, and I'm going to start with the part of the digital dash that's in the middle, because that is what you can control with the steering wheel button. So over on the right side of the steering wheel, you have an up, you have a down, you have a view, and then you have an OK with menu select left, menu select right button. So I'm going to start with these two silver buttons here, because what they do, as soon as I push them, you look at the top of the screen and you're going to see different things going by. Okay, these are the main menus. And every time you get to a menu that you want to look at, why then you just use the up-down arrows to go through it. So let's go back and let's start with the assist systems here. Okay, so if I go down, now I've got lane assist, and it's got a box with a check mark. If I click it, lane assist goes off. Click it again, lane assist goes on. I go down here to adaptive cruise control. Okay, here's where I can change between that or regular cruise control. It takes a second. It'll come back. I'm going to switch it back to adaptive. All right, continuing on down, I got blind spot monitor. Again, click on or off with the OK button. Same thing with rear traffic alert, front assist, and then this is your back button. So I'm going to click OK, and that's your driver assist. Now, when you turn your cruise control on, that's where you're going to see, right now it's on, you can see the gaps changing for adaptive cruise control. Okay, and then that's it for that screen. So we're going to use the right-hand silver menu selection, and we're going to go over to compass. Now in compass, that's all you get, but it's nice that they provide a compass, because sometimes you just want to know what direction you're going. I'm going to go one more to the right. You have your audio. So it displays what's currently playing. It shows you that the volume is currently muted. And then it shows you what favorite it is. So for instance, this is FM 18. Use the down arrow here. And now I've got my other presets. Okay. And then you just go up, and when you find one, you just click on it. So really easy to change that. Now, you can also use the channel buttons right here, because they'll switch no matter what mode you're in. So that's like, you don't have to go and look at it on the screen. You just want to change your favorite, you can just go here and use that, no matter what screen is showing on the digital cockpit. Okay, so if I continue going down, you may be wondering about, well, how to get to sources. Well, go all the way down, and here is your sources. So now I click OK, and then I can choose between FM, AM, internet radio, my media, Bluetooth, and then we're back to Sirius XM and close. Okay, I went backwards here. I'm going to go over one more to the right with the silver button here. This is where your telephone information would show up. Okay, so I don't have a cell phone connected, but that's where all that information would show up. All right, I'm going to go one more to the right. Vehicle status. Okay, this is going to just give you some messages. I'm going to go one more to the right. Driving data. Okay, so first one here we have is a digital speedometer. I'm going to go down here, one. Okay, I can look at oil temperature instead. Okay, and if I press OK, that's what comes up in the dash, in the middle. Okay, I'm going to go down again. You can look at, you can have your trip showing. You can have economy showing. You can have an overview, which gives you a bunch of different information. Press the down arrow again. Range, energy consumers. Let's take a look at that quickly. Yep. All right, I'm going to go down again. And we're back to speed. So lots of different things under driving data. All right, I'm going to go over one more to the right. And we're back to assist systems. So that's the center part. Now, I told you that the center of the RPM and speedometer gauges are configurable, but that is not done through these controls. VW has updated the cockpit, and on the new ones, you can do what I'm going to show you in a minute right from here. But for now, we're going to just swivel over to the infotainment screen and show you how to access and change information on your digital cockpit. All right, so let's talk about how to customize the interiors of the RPM and speedometer. So all you do is use these two blue circles, and for the tach you use this one, and for the speedometer you use that one. And it's the same group of information available for both, so you can have it on the left side or the right side. And all you do is just take and swipe. Right? I mean, there's quite a bit of information in here. And there we're back. And then if I go over to the right side, you're gonna notice it's all the same options. But I like that because that way you can put things on the left or right where you are most comfortable with them. So the question becomes, how do you set view 1 and view 2? Okay, our volume is turned off because we're recording, and it may beep at you, but I'll show you even visually how you can do it. So you click on, let's say, view 1. Switch these until they are in a spot that you want them, and then click and hold view 1. You notice it lit up in orange after a few seconds. Now it's memorized. Now I'm gonna click on view 2, and I'm gonna change a few things. And I'm gonna click and hold on view 2. Okay, and after a few seconds, again it comes on. Now if I go back to tap view 1, you see them change. I go to view 2, that changes, and I can go to classic, and there I go. So to customize this, you just got to remember you have to go to the infotainment screen. It's not in the steering wheel controls. So the only other thing you can do, which is really cool, is VW gives you a view button on the steering wheel. And if I click it, it's going to cycle through some preset things. Not your view 1 or view 2, but it's going to give you just a little wider screen. Like now we're on safety, okay? And then we're back here. If my middle information, let's say that we're on the compass and I go to view. You see how it's going to give you whatever information you have currently selected in the middle. That's what's going to kind of be large, and it gets rid of a lot of stuff and puts the necessary information at the bottom. But it's really, really nice. Okay, that's the digital cockpit. Next, we're going to move over to the infotainment screen. So the infotainment screen itself is an 8-inch screen. It has Beats by Dr. Dre for the audio system. It has got 8 speakers. It's 400 watts. And it does have a subwoofer, and that would make it 9 speakers. It has AM and FM HD radio, XM radio with 360L, and then it has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, as well as it is 4G LTE Wi-Fi capable. Now, there is a CD player in the glove box. It has a wireless charger. All right, and this one does have navigation. So, on the left side of the screen, you've got a radio, media, phone, voice, and then you've got a push for power, rotate for volume. And on the far right, you have apps, sound, car, and menu. And then you have a tune button right here. So those are the sort of the physical buttons. The only physical ones really are these two, and these are just touch buttons, but they're dedicated. They're always there. So let's go to radio, and let's talk about how to do a few things. So first of all, how do you tune? Well, you've got these buttons here. Okay, these go back and forth between your favorites. You can also use the steering wheel controls, the little arrows at the bottom on the right side of the steering wheel, to do the same thing. You notice all these little dots down here? Well, that means you have more presets. So there are a total of 36 presets, and you can customize how many that you actually see. Okay, down below you also have a tune button. If you click that, now you can use this rotary dial like an old style radio, and you can tune. All right, so that's how you're going to tune. If you want to look at a station list, you can do that. The ones that have stars are already favorites, but you just can scroll through here, and then if you find something, you can just click on it and it will play. Now, you also have a frequency button up here which you can click on, and you can change it from frequency to genre. And there is no genre where we are, very little. There we go. Talk, college, religion, sports, news. So if you're in a strange area and you're just looking for like country music or something, you can look through there. Oh, there's a country station, instead of pressing that favorite button over and over again. All right, let's go backwards. You can take a look at your presets, and that's just the view that we usually come to. Okay, so we've already seen that. If you want to have just the station showing, so you get rid of all those presets, you can do that. Okay, and then if we go to the gear wheel, all right, so going to sound brings you to all the adjustments you need to make here. So you can adjust treble, all these, and it's just you can slide with your finger, or you can use the plus and minus buttons here to adjust. You can look at the position, and again, you can just drag this, or you can use the arrows, or I think you can automatically center it. Yep, right there. And then under volume, you can select to adjust several different volumes. The voice operation, so for voice command, the maximum startup volume, the speed dependent volume increase, and they all work the same way. So if you just click on it and then drag it, then you can adjust how loud this, or how flexible the speed dependent volume increase is, or the maximum startup, or the voice operation. But they're all the same way. All work the same way. Okay, so let's go back to radio. Now, sources are right under here, and AM and FM and Sirius XM all look very much the same. So if I go to AM, you'll notice all the same buttons down here. If I go down here and I press on Sirius XM, again, same thing. All the basic same buttons here. The only difference is here you got a live button, and you got a skip forward, skip backwards, and pause button here. But otherwise, they all function the same way. Now, I want to show you one more thing, and that is how to set a preset. And this works for AM, FM, and Sirius XM. I find a channel I want, and I'm going to just click. As soon as you hear a little beep, then it's done. So it's just a click and hold, wait till it beeps, and then that's it. So that is radio. Let's go back to menu for a minute. Okay, so let's go to telephone for a minute. All right. I have to connect my phone because it's not connected. So we're going to connect via Bluetooth. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my phone on. I'm going to go to settings and I'm going to go to Bluetooth. All right, so after a while, my VW 6050 shows up on my phone, so I click on that. This is the same password that's on my phone, so I'm going to click yes. Now, it's asking me on my phone if I want to allow contacts and favorites to sync. If this is your phone, click yes, in your car. If it's just, for me, I'm clicking no, and then it wants to know if I want to use CarPlay. So I'm going to use CarPlay. I'm going to go ahead and say Apple CarPlay. Okay, I'm going to shut my phone off. That's done. I'm going to throw it into the wireless charger. And now I have Apple CarPlay. All right, so the way these new systems work is when you hook your phone through Bluetooth, you'll be given the choice to connect via Apple CarPlay or Android Auto if you're using an Android phone. If you select that, if you select Android or you select Apple CarPlay, the Bluetooth part won't work. It only connects one way. Now, and it's a little confusing. It's still Bluetooth, but basically, if you want music, like when you go to sources, it typically is only going to be an Apple CarPlay. So here we go. I just got a message here, so I see the little icon. So if I click on it and I go here.
Robert Edwards said, "I'm loving the awesome VW Jetta. Would you like to reply?"
Yes.
What do you want to say?
I love the new digital cockpit in this car.
Your reply to Edwards says, "I love the new digital cockpit in this car." Ready to send it?
Yes.
Okay, it's sent.
And you can see how easy that is to do. Okay? That's just really nice. So right down the road, you don't have to take your eyes off anything. It engages Siri on your phone or a Google Assistant if you have Android, and does that. Now, so all of these apps here are apps on my phone. This is like a mirror from my phone. So you'll notice, for instance, I also can use Waze, Google Maps, and Apple Maps, and probably any other navigation you have would work in there as well. Okay, your music's there. You can get news. What else we have? Oh, we had Amazon Music, and of course Pandora, a radio app, Sirius XM. If that's on your phone too, you can use that. So, and then if you go all the way to the right, or you just click this button, you get a split screen. So you get navigation, and then you get a home button to click for navigation, and then you get your whatever's playing on your phone. And then on the split screen, let's say you also want to go to full screen navigation, you can do that, and it comes right up. So that is just really nice. And then these are your most recently used items. Gives you your battery signal, your Wi-Fi signal, and the time. So it is just really nice. Absolutely love Apple CarPlay. If you're used to using Bluetooth on your phone, it's like Bluetooth on steroids. It's way more convenient and nicer to use. Okay, let's go back to menu. All right, now that I've connected my telephone, I'm going to jump down to media for a minute. And if I go down to source, do you notice that Apple CarPlay does not show up in there? Okay, I could go to Bluetooth audio. So if I say okay, I'm gonna click OK there. So you can switch to that if you want. But do you notice that Apple CarPlay has disappeared? So if you're going to choose Apple CarPlay, I would just use Apple CarPlay for anything to do with your phone, even playing media, not through the media app. right, so you may be wondering, well, if I mess up and I do that, how do I get back to Apple CarPlay? Just click on App Connect. Nathan's phone's already set. Your phone is already set up. You just need to click on it and say use Apple CarPlay. But the car's system will not do both simultaneously. It's one or the other. It's either Bluetooth or Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Okay, so that's, I just want to point that out. All right, back to menu. Now this car does not have navigation, even though the app is there. So I'm not sure if they're waiting to put in an SD card yet or something, or if it's an option from the manufacturer. If you did have the navigation built in, that can display on your digital cockpit as well. All right, let's talk about the assist systems. I love the graphics that VW puts in. So basically, it's a picture you click on. So let's say I want to click on, what is that? Oh, adaptive cruise control. Okay, distance. How far do you want to be? I want to be, maybe say very far. All right, let's click X. Okay, and then it sets it. Okay, now they're a little farther ahead of me. If I click on the little radar, the little lines here, then I get front assist. And how much in advance do I want a warning? Well, you have to kind of play with these to see what meets your preference. But if you say late, it's going to warn you like right before you hit something. And early is going to warn you earlier. Or you could turn it off, right? There's also the letter I up here you can click on to tell you what the function does. The X, I can click on the blue lines. Okay, lane keeping assist. It's active, and I want steering wheel vibration on, and you just click them to shut them off or on. Finally, I'm going to click on the car here, and blind spot monitor again. Click on or off to make it active or not active, and you would want to leave that on. Okay, so VW does a really nice job in laying out these graphics so it's easy to click on something and to see how it works. We make it even easier by showing you how to do it and telling you what they do right in the video. So in this screen, it's maybe a good spot just to show this, but you notice every time I bring my hand close, the screen changes. And if I bring my hand away, it goes. So VW has built in like a hand sensor, so as your hand gets closer to the screen, it brings up the tools, and then when your hand goes away, it makes the screen bigger to give you a more viewing area, and that's a really, really nice thing. All right, I'm gonna click on the gear settings here. And here you can have a manual, like a physical word printed. It's the same thing that's in the display screen, but if you would rather look at it and read it, you can do that. All right, I'm gonna go back to menu. We've done media, we've done Apple CarPlay. Let's look at vehicle. Okay, so we already did the digital cockpit here, and we understand that. So I'm going to go to selection. I'm going to go to driving data. And you've got a couple screens you can go through here. So let's see, what else we have here? Oh, sense refueling, long term, sense start, and sense refuel. Okay, so couple different screens, all presets, but you can go through and see different pieces of information there. All right, if I go back to selection and I select vehicle status, it's going to show me a picture of my vehicle status. So I think if a door's open, we'll try that. Okay, there it goes. Door, hood, trunk, lid open. All right. It'd be kind of nice if it actually showed you the graphic of the door opening like they do on the driver's information screen, but you can then go look at tire pressure monitoring, and then you can press set after you've checked all your tires, make sure they're right. And those are the two screens that you get there. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the menu. This is another place to get into sound settings. We already saw that. I showed you how to get that from the radio, but that's there as well. Now, you see the two dots? I'm gonna go over one to the right. All right, climate control. Now you have all physical climate controls. But if you're a techie and you like to push screens and little buttons, then you can go right into here and you can get your climate control there. But I love it that VW has put all the buttons physically. You may go, well, why the redundancy? Really, I think VW built it so it would have the manual controls and put the digital controls in just for fun. Here's a reason you want physical controls. If your screen ever goes out and you have like your heated seats or your sync button or whatever is in the infotainment screen and that's the only place it is, you're sunk. Whereas if you have the physical controls, you may be able to deal with having a blank screen and still have all your climate work properly. So I like having the physical buttons. All right, back to menu. And we're over here on this page. Okay, so we're gonna go to settings here. This will be about the last one we cover. So you have all these different areas that you can look at under settings. So first of all, you can just take a look at your screen and you can actually set your screen to turn off after so many seconds. So you touch it, it comes on, you use it, you take your hand away, it goes away. It turns itself off. You can adjust the brightness if you don't think your screen is very bright. Touch screen tone. Do you want it to beep at you every time you touch the screen? Well, you can click there and turn that on. Menu button tone when you do one of these. Okay, you want that on or off? I'd leave them off, but display time in standby mode, that's checked on, but if you didn't want that, you could check it off. And these all work the same way. Animate when fingers near screen. If I click here, then the screen isn't going to change when I put my hands near or far away. I like that. I'd leave that on. And that was all under screen. You can change the date and time right here. I can change the language there. You can change the units. Okay, so you can change the distance, speed, temperature, volume, fuel economy, and pressure. So it's interesting that they give you all those choices. So you can change one and not the other. So let's say you went from the US to Canada. Well, you could then change miles per hour to kilometers per hour, but leave everything else the same. Fuel economy, that kind of stuff, tire pressure. So it's interesting that some cars don't give you that many different choices. They just change everything. All right, you can look at voice operation here. You want example commands displayed in the infotainment system? That's a good thing to leave on. So again, it's just a click to turn it off, a click to turn it on, and that's the same for all of these. Okay, do you want a little tone to sound every time the voice command starts or ends, and anytime a dialogue session is started or ending? And then you can create an activation word, so you don't have to push the voice command button. You can just say something like, "Hey VW," so that you can turn that on or off right there. Okay, let's go back. Under Wi-Fi here, this is where you're going to set up your infotainment system as a hotspot, and you can do a quick connection to the infotainment system. You can manage mobile devices here. Okay, so this screen is simply showing you that my phone is running through Apple CarPlay. If I click the phone button, it's going to run through Bluetooth and turn off Apple CarPlay. All right, you can trash that item here. All right, let's go back. And underneath here, you have restore factory settings. So if you completely mess up, or you're buying the car from used, whatever, then you can do a factory reset right there. You can get system information, copyright. You can register for the VW CarNet registration. VW CarNet includes things like safe and secure, remote vehicle, start and stop, that kind of stuff. And then Guardian and diagnostics, so you can geo-fence the car. So if you have a kid that's driving, you can set some things. You can get reports on their, how fast they're driving, whatever. Limit the radio volume, and then you have access to some maintenance things. So that's what the VW CarNet does. All right, then we'll go back to menu here. Well, that's it for the infotainment screen. Thanks for watching. I hope it's been helpful.